Okay, so this is a grouping game. We are doing practice test 69, game 2. It's a pretty relatively easy grouping game, so hopefully this will kind of give you a basis of how to attack grouping games when you're making worlds. So 69 game 2 says exactly 6 petri dishes labeled 1 through 6 are stored in an otherwise empty refrigerator. There's a bottom, a middle, and a top shelf, and the placement, we have to place the petri dishes in that order. So before I even go into the rules, I'm going to look at what my scenario gives me and how I'm going to kind of create my diagram based off of it. Just because it makes more sense to me, since we have a top, middle, and bottom, I'm going to do something like this because those are my groups that I have to group in, right? And my variables are my petri dishes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is what I'm moving around, and this is where I'm moving it into, right? Okay. So just based on what we've read, it doesn't tell me how many can be in each shelf. So I'm just going to kind of leave it blank and just kind of let myself know that right now it's undefined. Well, so I go into the first rule. No more than 3 petri dishes can be stored on any shelf. So I have a maximum of 3. So I'm going to draw 3 spaces to tell myself I can't go beyond this. I can't have 4. I can only have 3. Now I could have just 2 and nothing else in the other. That's fine. But it's telling me I can't have a maximum of, I have a maximum of 3. I can't go more. So that's implemented into our diagram. So we're going to go into rule 2. Dish 2 is stored at least 1 shelf above dish 6. So this means that 2 is somewhere above 6. It says at least 1 shelf, so it could be 2 shelves. So we can actually make worlds off of this. So my 2 can go into 2 separate groups. We can be at the top and we can be in the middle. So I'm going to make a world, world 1, world 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to have one where 2 is at the top and 2 is in the middle. Because this is not a mixed game where I'm also ordering them within the shelves, I can place 2 wherever I want in these. I could have placed 2 right here. If I wanted to, I could place it at the end. It doesn't matter. So yeah. So if 2 is above 6, then I'm going to look at my world 1. We always go back to our world 1. I'm going to ask myself, where can 6 go? Well, I can put 6 in the middle, and I can put 6 at the bottom, because 2 just has to be at least 1 shelf above 6. So I'm going to make another world of a top, middle, bottom. You're going to copy it exactly over before you implement your number 6. And I'm going to put one where 6 in the middle and 6 is at the bottom. I'm going to go to number 2, and I'm going to ask myself, where can 6 go? Well, 6 can only go in the bottom because 2 has to be at least 1 above it, right? So we're going to place 6 there. Now I have 2 and 6 placed. You don't necessarily have to cross these out. This just kind of helps me get an idea of what I'm playing with. Not necessary. So we're going to go on to rule 3. Rule 2 is completely implemented in my diagrams. There's no other way that I can break this rule, so it's dead to me. I don't have to revisit this rule anymore. But I'm going to go to rule 3. Dish 6 is stored either 1 shelf above or 1 shelf below 5. So basically what that's saying is 6 is either like this or 6 is like this. So I'm going to go all the way back to world 1. We have to implement these into each world that we create. World 1, where can my 5 go? Well, I can place it in the top and I can place it in the bottom. So I'm going to create a world where 5 is at the top and 5 is at the bottom. Now I'm going to go to 2. Where can 5 go? Well, we can't place it below 6 because it's the lowest it can go. So I'm going to place it in the middle because that's the only place that it can go. I want to take a moment to distinguish the difference between 2 and 3, the rules 2 and 3. Number 2 says at least one shelf. Number 3 says one shelf and that's it. So it's giving us that restriction of it is exactly one shelf. So I can't put 5 up in the top. I can't put 5. Well, yeah, that's the only one that it applies to. I can't put 5 up at the top because it has to be exactly one shelf. Okay, we're gonna go back. For world 3, I asked myself, where can 5 go? Well, because 6 is at the bottom, it can only go in the middle. So I'm gonna put 5 there. And again, you can put 5 here, you can put 5 here, that's up to you. I just always put it all the way the furthest to the left that I can go. So now that we have implemented 5 in all of our worlds, that rule is completely implemented. I don't have to revisit it. I don't have to think about it anymore. I could erase this. Actually, I am going to erase this. And I don't have to worry about it anymore. So we're going to go to our last rule, which says 1 is not stored on the same shelf as 4. Okay, so that means that we can't have 1 and 4 together, right? So I'm going to ask myself, where can I place 1? You can also ask yourself where you can place 4, but I'm just going to play around with 1 because that was the first variable that it gives me. And so I'm going to look at world 1. We're going to go all the way back to world 1. I'm going to look at world 1 and ask myself, where can I place 1? Well, I'm pretty much free to do what I want. I can place 1 on any of these shelves and be fine. So I'm going to, we're on world 5, create worlds. Where 1 is on each shelf. So I'm going to put 1 on the bottom, 1 in the middle, and 1 in the top. So I have 1 placed in my first world. Now, because 4 can't go on the same as 1, we're restricted. So we can only place 4 on the top or the middle. You can break this down again if you would like, and split this even further. If you are a more visual person, if you're getting used to making worlds, I highly recommend it. If you're okay with doing the mental gymnastics, I'm going to put 4 here, and I know it can either go there or it can go there. Doesn't matter which one. That's how I implement it. You could also do something probably like this. You can place those there. Just as long as you know that it can only go on the top and the middle. Okay, so we have 1, 2, we're missing number 3. Where can 3 go? Where 3 is a floater because it does not involve any of the rules being said. So I can place 3 anywhere and it won't violate this world. So I'm actually going to draw 3 and circle it, and that's how I know that it's a floater. It can go anywhere. Whereas 4 is only restricted to the top and the middle. So if I put 4 at the top, that means 3 could go in the middle or the bottom. If I put 4 in the middle, 3 can go in the top or the bottom. And if I put 4 at the bottom, 3 can go in the middle or the top. So we're going to go back over into our split world from 1. Number 5, because 4 cannot go in the middle with 1, I know that 4 has to go either at the top or in the bottom. And again, 3 is our last floater, and those can go anywhere. So the game does not specify that each shelf has to be full. We could have a blank shelf, right? So I could put 4 at the top and 3 in the middle and just have nothing at the bottom. That is fine because it's not specified in our game. If it's specified that in the game, then we do have to make sure that at least something is in the bottom. Or if it had said like at least 2 have to be in the bottom, we would have to adhere to that restriction. But because there is nothing that is telling us that, we can have empty shelves. So number 6, 4 cannot go with 1 for multiple reasons. It just can't go with 1 because of the rule, and there's no more space for me to put 4 there. So we know that 4 has to go in the middle or in the bottom. And again, that leaves us with 3 as a floater. And that one is a complete world. When I make worlds and I have multiple worlds like this, I like to check off the ones that I have all my variables in, just so I know that's a full world. I'm done with that one. I don't have to go back to that one. So we're going to go on to 2, and we're still implementing that last rule. So 1 cannot be with 4. So where can I put 1? Again, I can put 1 on all of these shelves. So I am going to make multiple worlds again. Make it a little bit smaller because I'm running out of space. Copying it exactly before I implement the 1 and the 4. So I can put 1 at the top, I can put 1 in the middle, and I can put 1 in the bottom. And because 4 cannot go with 1, I'm going to go into each of my worlds and figure out where I can put 4. In this world, I know I can put 4 here, and I can put 4 here. And again, that leaves us with 3 as our floater here. If it makes sense to, given like the space that I have right now, it's kind of jumbling all together for me. So I'm actually going to separate these so I know where my floaters are with. If you are doing this on the actual test, you will obviously have more space than I have. So I highly recommend kind of giving yourself some space. Okay, so then we go to 7 because this was the world that we had split. 7 and 8 are split from 2. And so 1 cannot go with 4. Where can I place 4? I'm going to go at the top and the bottom. And 3 is our floater. And again, with 8, 1 cannot go with 4. So 4 can go at the top, 4 can go in the middle. And again, we can have empty shelves. So we can place 4 here and have 3 here and have an empty top. And again, we go to number 3. Oh man, we are running out of space. Give myself some more space. Okay, so number 3, world 3 is what we're going to split off of because we went 1, 2, gotta go to 3, we gotta implement it into 3. So asking ourselves, 1 and 4 cannot go together. Where can I place 1? I can place them in all 3 shelves. So we are on world 9, world 10, a top, a middle, and a bottom, and we have 2, 5, and 6. Top, middle, bottom, 2, 5, 6. Okay, so 1 can go at the top, 1 can go in the middle, and 1 can go in the bottom. We're going to go back to 1. Where can we place 4? It could be either in the middle or the bottom. And 3 as our floater. If you haven't noticed already, this is getting a little repetitive, and that is fine. It'll just kind of, creating more worlds, yes, it takes longer, but if you need to do it to answer the questions fully, please do it. If you notice, like, it takes me less than 5 seconds to create a world, and that 5 seconds could mean between getting a point and getting it wrong. So I always say, be safe than sorry. Create your worlds. Okay, so in number 9, 4 can go at the top and 4 can go at the bottom. And we have a floater as 3. Number 10 4 can go at the top, 4 can go in the middle, and 3 is a floater again. One more world. We have to implement it into each of our worlds, otherwise we're going to miss out on scenarios, and this is the purpose of making worlds, is to eliminate our rules. So if we just stopped here and went into our questions, we haven't implemented that last rule into world 4, right? And so that's going to, we're not going to have all of our worlds. So if we got a must be true question, it could be related to one of those worlds. Okay, so number 4, where can we place 1? 11 and 12. Top, middle, bottom, 2, 6, 5. Top, middle, bottom, 2, 6, 5. We can place 1 in the top, 1 in the middle, and 1 in the bottom. 4 cannot go with 1, so that means that we're going to go 4 in the middle or 4 in the bottom in world 4, and 3 as our floater again. In world 11, we know that 4 can either be in the top or in the bottom because 1 is in the middle, and 3 is our floater again because it hasn't been mentioned in the rules. 4 for number 12 can be in the top or the middle because 1 is in our bottom, and 3 is our floater again because it is not mentioned in the rules. Now, we have implemented rule 4 into all of our worlds. We have split them up, and we have created these worlds. This is the end of the rules. So this is the completed game board. This is basically all the possibilities that could happen. There is no reason for us to go back into the rules because we have implemented it. It is on our board right now. We don't have to worry about our rules anymore.